Hi family, you're welcome back to our tutorial for today. Today is going to be a really quick tutorial on how I record my clients. Thank God, and hopefully my client agreed for me to record her today, so we're going to proceed into that. For foundation, I'll be using the Fenty foundation in the shade 430 and Estee Lauder foundation in the shade Rich Chestnut. I like a mixture of this blend because I really like a very soft finish, so I'm using both foundation because it gives me that very lightweight finish that I really like. I also didn't record the prep for this look because we started not too quick into the tutorial, so please, you can also go down to our previous videos to see how I always record my prep setting. Now I'm going in with my contour stick from Juvia's Place foundation, Juvia's Place contour stick in the shade Sokoto and Tunisia. For my blush, I'm using the TM Essential blush in the orange shade and the burgundy shade. I combine them, and I always notice that whenever I apply a little tip around the forehead of my client, it tends to warm up the skin a little bit. So I just started this technique, and to do this, ensure you're using a very lightweight blush. Okay, if your blush has too much texture, the color won't disappear or blend properly into the skin or your contour. The next we're going to go through now is our concealer, and I'm using the Born This Way concealer in the shade Chestnut. You know, I always drop down all my product use in the description. If you're a new subscriber, you're definitely welcome, and we can't wait to see you in our next tutorial. And if you're a returning subscriber, you know I love you for being a family. Thank you so much for sticking through. Now the next concealer I went in with is the Tarte concealer. I can't remember the shade, but I definitely will drop the shade names in the description below. There is a technique I use in blending my concealer. To all our new subscriber, I always blend out my forehead and the bridge of the nose. I start with blending the darker concealer first before I go into the lighter concealer. That way it blends smoothly and easily into the skin. To continue our step, I'm going to set my under eyes using the Merec setting powder in the shade Ginger. I will start by setting the under eyes. I always make sure to blend out, or rather smoothing out, before I set with my translucent setting powder. If you know me, you know I start with a translucent setting powder, and that's because I notice it gives a really lightweight finish even before you use your compact powder. That way your under eyes don't get really heavy and cakey throughout the whole makeup process. Take very little and then you blend as you go. You don't want to take a lot at a time because it's going to cake up just as you place it. So take it very little per application and pat lightly. You really have to be light-handed when you are blending your under eye translucent powder so you don't get any patch or cakiness. Another extra tip I'm going to give: if you look at one side of my eye, or rather of the eyes of my client, it's a little bit lighter. That's because I put like an extra coat of my translucent powder. I always go back with my beauty blender to smoothen that. If you look at this video now, it doesn't have that anymore because I go back with my beauty blender to smoothen out any excess translucent powder before I apply powder overall. I just applied my powder, and the next I'm applying right now is my contour using my favorite palette from Morphe Glamour Bronze, and it's a really warm shade. I'm taking the shade Leader and Trailblazer, mixing them together to give me the best undertones I like. For my nose contour, I'm using my Real Technique brush, which is a favorite brush I like to use to define my nose. I start from the bridge of the nose and then work my way down gently. I don't go in with harsh lines so as not to give you those dramatic nose contour. I always like to blend as soft as possible. I'm back again. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I know it's not so detailed, but it is just showing you how I attend to my client, the struggles with it and all that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find it educative, or drop your comment below. I see a lot of us have been dropping what you like me to record for you. Know that I'm putting them into consideration, and in due time I'm going to be dropping all the videos and requests you have made. Don't forget to drop any more questions you have. I'm also going to be dropping videos as regards your question. Look, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you for coming down towards the end of the video. Don't forget to watch totally to the end though. But this is my cue to say thank you, thank you to all our new subscribers. You're a family now, I know. To a returning subscriber, you're my G's. Thank you for watching, and see you in our next tutorial. Yes, see you in our next tutorial. I love you.